Hello, everyone. How's it going? Hopefully, I'm live. Hopefully, a couple people are hopping in here soon. It's been a while since I last streamed, so let me know if there's anything going on with the stream that it looks good, that you can hear me. And today I wanted to do an arc ranking. I just wanted to talk about some arcs. It's not going to be a super long one today. There is we could do like every anime ever for an arc ranking, but I wanted to do something a little bit smaller just to get back to streaming. It's been so long since I've streamed, and I really want to stream like once or twice a week. So we'll see how it goes. I'm expecting this to be around an hour-ish. My technology, like last time I streamed, like at an hour and 10 minutes, just like stopped working. And so hopefully that doesn't happen. And hopefully I can keep a better eye on it if something wrong is going to happen. So that means we'll probably dive in here pretty quickly. But let me know how y'all are doing. Yeah, it's been a while since I've streamed. A lot of videos have been coming out on the channel recently. I've been doing a lot of short content. Just came out with a Haikyuu video about the bench players, which was really fun to make. So that was really cool. And then next up, probably in the next couple days or so, I'm going to have a video on Jujutsu Kaisen. And you can probably expect a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen videos coming up soon. And I also have a lot of ideas for streams. I want to stream like once or twice a week, typically at least like on the weekend, like today. And so I really want to do my top 50 anime and manga. And so if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Once I kind of get back in the habit of streaming, I kind of want to do that. But I think we can just kind of hop in here. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat, and let me pull up the tier list here. I just picked a kind of a random tier list. Hopefully y'all can see that all right. And just going to keep it with like pretty standard rankings. Like, what are the S tier arcs? Things like that. There's not a ton here, so we can go through. There's like Attack on Titan, some Black Clover, all the big shonen series are kind of here. It's not too long, not too short. Hopefully that'll be, just a good amount to get talking a little bit and all of that. And so I'll kind of hop in and let me know what your thoughts are on every arc, and we can kind of hop into this. So it's starting with some Attack on Titan arcs. The Battle of Trost is an interesting one. It does have like the amazing twist of Eren, dying and then coming back to life. But I think it is a bit like there's a lot of heavy hitters here. I think C's like a good arc, like nothing crazy, but like a very solid arc. So I'd probably put Battle of Trost here at C. Female Titan, I think, is excellent. It's certainly A, if not S. Like, I think it's like my third favorite arc in Attack on Titan, which means it probably can't be S if we're being like a little bit stricter on arcs. Clash of the Titans but the Female Titan also, I made a video recently or like a couple months ago about season 1 of Attack on Titan. And like when I think of Attack on Titan, I think of season 1 Female Titan. Like that is like the truest feeling for me of what Attack on Titan is. And so I really love that. Really love that arc. Clash of the Titans is really good. You've got Erwin's speech, or not his full speech, but Erwin kind of losing his arm, which is incredible. You have a lot of great reveals. You have a little bit more depth into the characters. I don't necessarily think it's like this huge step up in developing the cast, like some people kind of thought when it first came out, just kind of like a consistent development for me. And I think it's a little bit weaker than the Female Titan arc, but still very good. A+ arc. I mean, Attack on Titan's not going to have anything super low. And then we go to the Royal Government. That one's interesting as well. Like, I think Royal Government is like between A and C, but I'm probably going to put it at C for now with like a chance to change things in the future. I think the Royal Government, like Historia's development there is great. This idea that it's like this, that it's humans versus humans. It just becomes very apparent in this arc, but also the Titans are like the best part of the series, right? Um, Also good to see you. Is it Okabe? Uh, C and B tier list are interchanged. Oh my God, you're totally right. Thank you. That's what I get for just picking up a random tier list and going on with it. Um, yeah, good to see you. And yeah, yeah. And also I think so. Yeah, B is a good baseline for like these are good arcs. Nothing going wrong with them. Some of them have maybe like really great qualities, but just like when you compare it to bigger ones. And there might be some here that I don't remember as well for certain series, so I might move around a little bit, especially once we get to Black Clover. But we'll talk about it a little bit once we get there. Return to Shiganshina is my favorite arc in Attack on Titan. I think it's one of the best arcs in anime. Certainly, it is this like perfect intersection between everything that Attack on Titan does throughout. Like it changes so much throughout the story, and yet this arc has all of those qualities. And so, yeah, I think it's one of the best arcs. When you talk about the basement reveal, when you talk about Levi fighting the Beast Titan, Erwin's speech, like, you know, the Serum Bowl. I remember reading this arc for the first time, just being absolutely blown away. So for me, it's the peak of Attack on Titan. I think Marley's interesting. I'm kind of going based. I know I just mentioned the manga, but it's kind of based in both. And I think Marley is a little bit worse in the anime than it is in the manga. But I still think it's very good. And so I'll put it at A. Not quite female Titan, but very solid. And then the last arc would be War for Paradis, I guess. And I think it's an S tier arc. Even here, it seems that they're counting the rumbling within it, which may be slightly weaker than some of the other material in this arc, but like so much of how like most people remember Attack on Titan is like from this arc now, in terms of how Aaron's character really shapes into something completely different, and all of that. It's just so good. And you talk about like Gabby sniping Aaron is just like one of the best moments in the entire series. Like just a moment that gets the hairs to stand up on the back of your neck type thing. Now we're to Black Clover. So I haven't read Black Clover in years. I caught up to it in 2020, or 2021 maybe, I think right after I graduated university, and like blazed through it. So like all the arcs kind of like sit in my mind as like something pretty similar. I do remember Spade Kingdom a little bit, which I think that might have been what was going on when I started or when I finished. So maybe throw out some, if you have some Black Clover rankings, throw some out, because my feeling is, from kind of what I remember, I feel like not much of it is like quite on Attack on Titan's level personally. But it is like a fun and enjoyable series. I feel like Witch's Forest is the one I remember the most. And the invasion. Do you guys remember what the Seated Temple is? Nothing special. All right, we'll throw it in C. Are you thinking? And also, which is the arc where they fight each other, like a training arc or like a school arc almost? I like that's like shows you how long it's been since I've watched it. But I remember really really enjoying that. But I have a feeling a lot of them are in like B to C would be my guess. But okay, babe, what's your favorite arc? Um, I feel like Spade Temple. Then we'll put here. We'll just throw a lot of Black Clover and C. And as people maybe come on, if they think like that's crazy, then they can let me know. Back to so Bleach is something that I like started rereading this year, and then I kind of fell off because things get busy all the time, and I really would like to make like a series video about Bleach and just like what it feels like to revisit the series, at this point in time. But the Soul Society is Is it quite S tier? I'm gonna put it at top of A, maybe. Like, I think Bleach is really, really good. I don't necessarily love Bleach to the same level that like I'd say some of my peers on YouTube and some of my pals on YouTube do, but that could be because I need to read it. I've only ever seen it. Soul Society is S. All right, I'll mess around with that. Soul Society, I'll put it at bottom of S. I don't know if it's quite as good as Parody or Return to Shiganshina, but yeah, Soul Society is really good. The Arrancar arc, I think, is like has some of the highest highs, and then some things that I'm just like not as interested in. But like overall, I think Arrancar is still very good, and you know don't necessarily agree with like any narrative that it falls off super steeply. So I think it's probably around Marley. I'm gonna put it maybe I'll put it just above because this list can't all be Attack on Titan, right? Fullbringer is probably I found enjoyable, and I don't think it's like terrible or anything, but I don't necessarily think it's like the best, you know, that can go on. Arrancar had a lot of fillers. Yeah, that's definitely true, and I feel like I skipped a lot of the filler when I watched it because the interesting like my journey with Bleach is is very different than the other two of the big three where Naruto, as soon as it came to America, I was watching it. I remember like ads leading up to its premiere here. And then One Piece, I also was watching very early on. Like I was very young when I started watching One Piece. I watched the 4 Kids dub growing up, and but I didn't watch Bleach, and I kind of was aware of it, but didn't visit it till I was in high school. So it was a very different thing for me. Different thing for me to watch Bleach. Hello, thank you for joining the stream. Hope you're doing well, and if you have any Black Clover takes, let me know because I really need to revisit the story. Probably it's been like 4 years since I read it, and I'm just like all the arcs are blending together. So I've kind of just thrown them in B and C. But yeah, hope you're doing well. So for the Fullbringer arc, I think it's probably just below Royal Government, but I'll put it above Battle of Trost. Battle of Trost is kind of encompassing the first 9 episodes of Attack on Titan, so like enough that you can rate it pretty highly, but maybe not enough that an arc that that hasn't gone on long enough. You know, like a Fullbringer goes on for so much longer. You haven't seen Black Clover? Unbelievable. Well, I guess that makes sense. I think I made one Black Clover video 4 years ago when, you know, the channel was probably 1,200 subscribers or something. And I really enjoyed reading it. Like I read it really quickly. If you enjoy shonen and you can just have a fun time with it, but I probably read it so fast that like it didn't stick in my mind as well. Kakarot, hi. I'm doing good, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's really nice to stream. It's been so long since I've streamed, and it's really fun to just be able to talk to everyone in the audience and kind of just talk anime. And I have some ideas for what I want to do for further streams, but it's good to be back. And we may be limited in terms of what we can do for a little bit in terms of the software that I have and how my old computer handles it, because it kind of is at risk of dying at any time. But I definitely want to be streaming weekly to almost bi-weekly, or twice a week, I mean. I'm more into sports anime, mainly Haikyuu. I mean, that makes sense for this channel, right? Like most my followers love sports anime, and I do too. And it's crazy that I wasn't outside of Prince of Tennis. I didn't really get into sports anime until 4 or 5 years ago, and now, you know, it's like my whole channel took off because of Haikyuu. So 1,000-Year Blood War, I think is better than Fullbringer. I don't know if it's quite as good as I've only seen a little bit of it. I've seen like half of the arc maybe. And so it's not quite to A level for me yet, but it could be, especially when I read it, those arcs could change. To Chainsaw Man, did you all see the movie? I'm definitely thinking, at first I didn't think I was going to make a video on the movie or or on the Bomb Girl arc, but I actually think like I just keep thinking about it, and so I might make a little video essay like after this Jujutsu Kaisen one, um, on the Bomb Girl arc and kind of how the movie handled it and kind of how it changed my perception of it. The Bat Devil I actually think is just like fine. It's the odd tone of Chainsaw Man is so gripping when you start it, but I really don't think the story takes off until a few chapters later, and I don't think it's quite as good of a start as something like Battle for Trost. So I'll put it a little lower. Katana Man is very good. It's probably not quite as good as Royal Government, but I think it's very good. Uh, it was the anime that got me into anime. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, Haikyuu is just incredible, isn't it? And so that's very cool. And saw the movie. I think it was great. Totally agree. Like the animation is just so good. The kind of way that they were able to elevate the production of season one in the few ways that people kind of nitpicked it, I thought was amazing. And isolating the Bomb Girl arc, and that's what we're going to talk about next. I think it really made me understand, is it Reze's character, made me understand her really to a level that I didn't quite feel like I connected with when I've read the manga, and I've read part one like a couple of times. Part one's so good. So Bomb Girl arc is incredible. It's an A tier arc. It's probably better than the Arrancar arc, if we're being honest, or pretty close. I mean, it's so. I guess I'll put it below it because it's just so much shorter, and maybe I'm thinking on the movie. Miki, hello. Thank you for joining the stream. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, let me know how you feel about a lot of these arcs. I haven't seen both the movies. I waited for my friends, but the movies went out of theaters. Yeah, I missed the Demon Slayer movie. I'm like a season behind on Demon Slayer, and just because I don't know, just like random reasons why I haven't like caught up to it. And it's not that I don't like Demon Slayer. I definitely think it's a solid show, and I would have enjoyed to watch it in theaters, the movie, but eventually I'll catch up. And but yeah, the Chainsaw Man movie, whenever you get the chance, it's so good. The ending of that movie was really interesting. Makima is so interesting. Oh, Makima is so interesting. What a character. Yeah, the ending's so good. And yeah, I feel like I got to make a video on it at this point. Gonna head out. Just want to check and say I really enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. And it's cool that Haikyuu got you into sports or into anime overall. And yeah, thanks for supporting the channel, and we'll see you at the next stream, hopefully. International, like from the Bomb Girl arc, every arc just gets better and better. I'm gonna put International Assassin just above Arrancar. Do I put? I mean, these are both. This is S tier, certainly. I don't like. I view these two arcs as like so similar. That I don't necessarily know which one I prefer, but probably the Gun Devil arc. It's just so good. So I'm gonna put it at 2. Honestly, like it's incredible, and I'll put Control Devil a little bit lower. I'm wondering if I should read the Chainsaw Man manga. Yeah, I mean, it just you have to wait so long. Like what? It's a couple years in between everything, and part 1 is just like one of the best experiences I've ever had, like reading anything. Part 2 is interesting. It just has not reached the same level for part 1 for me, and that's there's a lot of reasons for that. But part 1 is so good that there's no way you won't enjoy it. But also the anime is so good that if it's your preferred way of experiencing, then it's definitely fine to wait. But the manga is fantastic. What do you think about Denji as a main character? I think he's really good. I'm a big fan of Denji. I think he fits the story really well. Maybe he's a little more muddled in part 2. I kind of need to reread it. Like I do enjoy part 2. It's just like not on the same level. But when you kind of know the ending of part 1 and how things unfold with him and Makima, it's so interesting going back and seeing all of these moments that are so clear, but like when I first read it, I didn't pick up on. But I think Denji's a fantastic protagonist. In terms of modern characters, maybe he's not quite as good as Yuji for me, but I prefer him over Deku or Tanjiro or some of these other characters. Um, moving on, the Saiyan Saga. Um, Saiyan Saga is very good. It's hard to rate Dragon Ball Z because it's like I have such a different kind of perception of it growing up with it. I feel like Saiyan Saga is just like very solid. Um, this is probably a good spot for it. I think Namek arc is pretty high, and then Android Saga is a little bit lower, even though I love the teenage androids or the bratty androids. They're good, but I don't necessarily think it's an A arc. Cell Saga, I think, is the best arc. I'll put it at the bottom of S, and it's probably like I don't know if it totally belongs there, but it's so iconic, right? And I've not seen Dragon Ball Super, so we'll be able to skip over some of these. But the Buu Saga is a little bit of a step down, I think, in quality. I'll put it kind of in between some of these Attack on Titan ones. So yeah, I haven't seen Super, so we can kind of skip ahead to L Saga, which is an S tier. I mean, like that's really encompassing so much of Death Note, but I mean the L Saga's really high, and then the Nier Saga is probably. I actually don't think the story falls off quite as much, but like when you go from top of S to middle of A, that's kind of fits for me. Gohan and Cell Saga was so cool. Yeah, his arc is unbelievable in that, and it just really shows Toriyama really kind of stretching his ability to write character in an awesome way, and you can just see how that arc has impacted. I mean, that entire story, how it's impacted. Uh, I sorry, how it's impacted shonen anime. Um, and really, I think the Cell Saga is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. My favorite arc was the last arc in the Haikyuu manga. So hype and beautiful. I can't believe how it tied all those loose threads. Totally agree. And I actually don't think Haikyuu's in this current list that I'm looking at because I needed something a little shorter because I just don't know how long the stream's going to last. Um, so but I agree, like it's S in nationals. Like I think I slightly prefer nationals probably, but yeah, talk about an ending, just puts everything together. I think the mansion arc in Demon Slayer is very solid. Like it's just maybe a little better than Katana Man. A lot of these early arcs, right, are like kind of going together. Like they do a good job of introducing you to the world and conflicts, but maybe don't go a ton beyond that. um I think this is an A arc. Like this is very good. Like some of the best stuff from Demon Slayer. My computer just went down.